Hello everyone and welcome back to My First Mon. I'm one of your hosts, Jack Martin, alongside the Pokemon Master, Christian Buckley.
Hello Jack, I'm excited to talk about these pocket monsters today with you.
Me too, dude. we had a very exciting episode last week about some shiny Pokemon. And maybe that will happen again this episode.
You know what? I was thinking about this. In hindsight, what a week to have a shiny Pokemon. Because that point in the game, not really exciting.
Yeah. No, it is. That was sort of a meandering episode in terms of what we were doing. But yeah, that definitely elevated the content of what was happening.
Oh, for sure.
In terms of the game.
And now we're back into it. You know, now this is just another week like the week before. It's just back to the strange storytelling of early Pokemon games.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but before we get into it, do a little rundown here. If you don't know, I never played a Pokemon game till last year, but under Christian's guidance, played through Pokemon Blue. He played through Pokemon Red, and for this season, we're both running through Pokemon Crystal. And each episode roughly focuses on the lead up to and through a particular gym. The show releases every Monday. You can find it on podcast services like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can find the video version on YouTube. And while you're over there on YouTube, throw us a subscribe. We are very close to 2,000 subs. We are inching along. We're getting there.
I can give you an updated number once you're done.
What do we got? Do you know?
It's definitely 1,880, but I don't know the one digit right now.
Okay, that is some clear improvement. I've been seeing those numbers tick up, and up, and it's great.
Yeah.
For this particular episode, or for this particular show, we want some community involvement. That is in the form of fan art, which you can send to myfirstmon@gmail.com. Finally, shout out to our Patreon producer, Chris Sakas. Speaking of Patreon, we have a Patreon over on patreon.com/joyclicks. At the $1 level, you can access to early access of episodes. So for this particular show, you can get the episodes on Saturdays instead of Mondays. And at the $2 level, you can name my Pokemon in my party, which is a great time. Christian, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, you want to hit me with some trainer tips?
Yeah, absolutely. Trainer tips, of course, is where viewers, listeners of this show can go over to the YouTube comments, or honestly, you can email myfirstmon@gmail.com, or go into the JoyClicks Discord like Neon Rider Arya normally does, and leave us some information to educate us and get Jack better prepared for the week following in his Pokemon journey. Just like Angarl does every week. So we have, what do we want to do with first? Let's do the updated party typing where we left off last week, Jack, because we always open with this.
Yeah.
Where we left off before, Quilava's Fire, Wooper, Ground and Water, Graveler, Ground and Rock, Weepinbell, Grass and Poison, Jigglypuff Normal, Drowsy Psychic. And Angarl goes into talking a little bit more about the dual typing discussion that we had last week, where I said I normally prefer a solo type. If I know I want water, I'll just get a water type. Angarl said when it comes to dual type Pokemon, it's best to pick Pokemon that have complemented types, like ones that cover each other's weaknesses, like Wooper with Ground and Water, having only one weakness as a result, and an immunity to electric attacks, or a water electric type like Chinchou, who is from... Oh, they're saying it's a Gen 2 water type. I thought it was Gen 3. So there you go. There's even more depth to the dual typing to keep in mind.
Cool.
Bergamot Bucket says, finding a shiny Pokemon is rare enough, but finding one you actually want to use and looking for specifically is nigh unbelievable. So yeah. And also just spouting some love for the series. So thank you for that.
Definitely. Yeah, that's what we found particularly crazy about Bellsprout. Is just finding one, but also finding one that I was in that moment I was actively searching for a Bellsprout, and it just happened to be shiny.
Yeah. Juggernaut 577 comes in with some information about the stones that we saw in, I believe, Celadon City in Gen 1, where you could buy a evolution stone to evolve Eevee. I think we were talking about evolving your Weepinbell to a Victory Bell, potentially, and you need a grass stone to do that. To do that, you would have to go to Picnicker Gina, who I believe Juggernaut gave a location to find. So if you did want to get the stones to evolve to a Victory Bell, a nice shiny Victory Bell, you got to go find a specific NPC, get their phone number, eventually you'd get it.
Maybe we'll see that this episode.
Ooh, okay. Android Man, nice and simple one. If you want to check the typing, you can go into the summary and see the Pokemon types. That is what the Pokedex is for. So if you do need refreshers, of course, you can always do that, and I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah, I have actually done that. That's a great comment. It's like nice and simple, and it's like, often in games, like, you forget the basics sometimes, and I often do go back into the Pokedex and see what's like the exact type, because I know some of them are double types. So yeah, we appreciate that, and that's a great name. The Android Man, was that what it was? Yes.
And very important, we have an updated pronunciation for a commenter, a Joyclicks trainer who's been following along with us. Zenon Kovalechko is the correct pronunciation, but they gave us props for the attempt. Specifically, a little more information about shiny Pokemon. So, Jack, this is very important for you with your Bellsprout, now Weepinbell. Shiny Pokemon are only different stats-wise in Gen 2 with slightly better IVs, which we don't have to get into, but IVs is sort of on the competitive side for the potential of a Pokemon to evolve stat-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, very detailed comment, very respectful. Love to see all the information. Very, very helpful stuff. And I think, Jack, you might want to read through a lot of this stuff, because Zenon gave us a lot to work with, and I think a lot of that could help you.
Definitely.
So,
yeah, I always appreciate their comments. I know they always have some pretty nice and chunky comments in there, and we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Real quick, like, I know you said you didn't want to get into it, but I've seen a lot of, like, oh, your 4s will be affected by this, or like X, Y, and Z. What does that mean?
So
no clue what that means.
It's funny you call them 4s because it is IVs. It's an abbreviation.
Oh.
It is. Oh God, what is it called? It's something values, intrinsic values maybe. It is essentially, so there's IVs and there's EVs. I don't really know the difference. I know one of them is based on the Pokemon you're fighting, what stats will get a buff when you evolve or when you level up, because you know how when you level up you get your stat sheet, it's like plus whatever to attack, plus whatever to defense.
Yeah.
IVs or EVs you get from fighting Pokemon of specific types, and those battles will in turn influence which stats get buffed when you level up. So again, it's on the very, very technical side, but for you and myself, when I played through the early games originally, does not mean a thing.
Okay. Do they even like make mention of that in the game itself?
So the only time I've seen it mentioned in a game is Sword and Shield, but to be fair, I have not played much of Gen 5 or 6.
Okay.
So
good to know.
Yeah.
Any other tips you got for me?
No, just always, as always, we love to see the shoutouts. Love to see the support for the show. I'm glad that it resonates with people. I've been getting a lot of that the past few weeks, so I'll just add this. Glad you're enjoying, and we're happy that you're here.
Absolutely. We get a ton of interaction with this particular show.
Yeah, really good interaction.
Which is awesome.
Too. Good people
to see. I think Neon Rider described it as showing like a kid Darth Vader's turn or his secret to Luke, and I'm like, wow, that's quite high praise.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that.
Greatly appreciated.
Immensely.
And
go for it.
One last thing I'll say. If you do enjoy the show, as always, like Jack said, supporting it is helpful in any way, liking, sharing, whatever. Share with a friend who likes Pokemon. I feel like most people can relate to somebody's first journey through a Pokemon game. So
yeah, it's quite wholesome content, so I'm sure they would appreciate it in some form or another.
Mostly family friendly, except when Jack finds Zubats.
Dude, Zubats can go to hell as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
Regardless, shall we hit that current party?
Hit me with that team, Jack.
All right, let's give it out to you. Level 29, Weepinbell. Shiny Weepinbell. My shiny Weepinbell. Remember? Do you remember the Fairly Odd Parents?
Oh, I knew. Yes, I know exactly what song that was.
I don't know why, but I've been thinking a lot about that.
Okay.
Fits the syllables. You know when you wake up and you think of things that you haven't thought about for years?
Yep.
that was one of those thoughts. And then Weeping Bell just fits perfectly in there.
Yeah, it does.
It was meant to be. Anyways, moving on. We have a level 25 Quilava. We have a level 30 Graveler. We have a level 25 Wooper. Level 22 Muscle, which is a Machop at this point. And then we also have Spearow, which is just my fly machine.
Right. I have a quick comment. So, can you hit me with the Weeping Bell level again?
29.
Interesting. So, it seems like most of your party's on the same playing field. Have you lost touch with your Quilava at all? It seems like you're not talking about him much.
Yeah. So, I think the rationale behind that is, you're right, I haven't been using Quilava as much as the rest of my party.
Or Squirtle last time.
I think that's why, because I think a lot of my tactic last season was Squirtle heavy. Squirtle this, Squirtle that, Squirtle here, Squirtle there, Squirtle everywhere. So I decided to sort of lessen that up a little bit and sort of use the rest of my party more equally. And I feel like I have been doing a better job at like giving the spotlight to everyone, not just my starter. But I do use Quilava in this episode. Okay. More than I have been.
What would you think if I told you that there are people, I only found out about this over the last 5 years really, there are people that ditch their starter early.
That's offensive, dude.
Right?
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, so if you don't mind me potentially offending you,
go for it.
When I played, listen, Pokemon designs have had their ups and downs, right? Mm-hmm. Sword and Shield, I like Sword and Shield. I think it's fine. Shield is an okay game. Grookey was my starter. He had my heart since day one. Out of those three, I was like, it's easily Grookey. They did my boy dirty. His evolution line sucks. So I never evolved him to the point where I got to the end finale of that game, and he would just, he wasn't doing enough stat-wise because I never evolved him, despite being a level 58 or something. Took him out. After I beat the game. I beat the game with him, but I did not use him in any of the final fights. So, on the homepage where it's my party who I beat the game with, he's there. He didn't pull any weight.
Should have gone with Sobble, dude.
Honestly, I don't like any of the third forms for any of them. That gen.
I remember, doing some very brief, research into it when I was doing the Polygonal Sunrise. And, yeah, none of them really caught my attention.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I can't fault you too much on that.
Incineroar, though? Gen prior? Oh, my boy, my god.
Incineroar, wasn't he in Smash?
He is in Smash. He is the Fire Wrestling Tiger. You're coming for my heart with that combo.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah, that's the party. And immediately, per your suggestion, I give Strength to Muscle instead of Leer, in lieu of Leer.
Nice.
Haven't been using that all that much, so whatever. And then I fly for the first time. I go to Ekritique because I know we came at that crossroads, right? Where it's you can go left and you go right. I went right a little bit, and I was like, I looked at the town map, and I was like, it seems like the game is... Because if you keep hitting up, it'll show the next direction of where you should go.
Right.
Or at least that's how the game presents the town map to be.
Yes.
It showed left, so I was like, I'm not going to mess with the right area yet. So I saved that for this. So I go here, it's Route 42, we go to Mount Mortar. Right now, I just kind of fly through it real quick. I honestly get to the other side, and I didn't even anticipate that, and I go outside. I was like, oh, didn't mean to do that. But while I was there, while I was already outside, I flew back to Goldenrod.
Okay.
Per Juggernaut 577. Per their comment about particular trainers over here having particular phone numbers. So we get Todd's number and we also get Gina's number. Because what I'm doing here, Christian, I'm looking for that leaf stone.
Yes.
Because I want to evolve my Weeping Bell. I want this to finally, we lost my Bellsprout, rest in peace. And then we got Shiny Bellsprout, who is now Weeping Bell. and I figured might as well just finish the deed and just make it into a victory bell.
Yeah.
So that's the whole rationale here. And then eventually I just go back to, I go to Azalea Town because I wanted some like repels because I didn't really want to mess with anything that was in Mount Mortar. The only thing of note that I saw there was I'm blanking on the name. It's the blue Pikachu essentially.
Meryl.
Yeah, I saw a Meryl and I was like, I don't really need a Meryl.
Yeah, you're good on water. Also, so you got the stone, then used it?
Got the stone. No, so I got the number. She hasn't called me yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I got the number, went to Azalea Town, and I had a fair amount of money. I got charcoal. Pokebucks, of course, that's what it's called. I got charcoal. Which, I think it said, like, it raises, like, the fire attack of fire Pokemon. Mm-hmm. So I gave that to Quilava.
Nice.
Yep. Basically go back to Mount Mortar. There's not much going on in here. I'm going to send you a photo. I found, like, some hyper potions and stuff like that. Like, some cool stuff, of course, but, like, nothing of, like, particular note. Mm-hmm. I'm going to send you a drawing. And it's going... This segment, Christian, as you penned it. Or as you suggested. So I'm taking some Arthur Morgan, more like John Marston drawings.
Rough sketches.
Throughout my notes. Yeah, very rough sketches. And initially we were thinking of a Who's That Pokemon segment for this show, and it didn't really like fit in too nicely. But now I'm drawing Pokemon along my journey, and I'm going to send the photos to Christian to see if he can guess what Pokemon this is. So this is the Who's That Pokemon segment.
Okay, viewers will see this on screen. Of course, that's a Golbat.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one, right?
Yeah, you nailed it. I think the mouth is key. I don't know. I don't think it's this game, but later gens, tongue is just hanging out.
Oh god, dude, awful.
Yeah.
As if I didn't already hate Zubat. Like, I'm gonna hate the bigger version of Zubat.
Hey,
if
man,
it's got its tongue out, dude, no thanks.
I'm telling you though, their third form that is a Gen 2 edition, excellent Pokemon, excellent design.
What's this called again?
Crobat. You can't get it easily. You have to go level up like friendship with a Pokemon, which is like a hidden stat.
What? Excuse me?
Yeah, we should talk about that at some point.
Let's do it. At some point, yeah.
Well, just because there are certain Pokemon in this game, you'll come across eventually a vendor. I believe you already would have in the underground path. Do you remember the massage person?
That sounds familiar. Oh, was that underneath Goldenrod?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can take a Pokemon there, and I think it's whoever's first in your party. You can talk to the person and then like ask them about your Pokemon, and they'll tell you what they feel about you. So they'll be like, oh, it seems like they're a little cold towards you, or oh, you guys get along great. So there are certain Pokemon that if you reach a certain descriptor from them, that would be an invisible friendship stat that you can't directly see, but you can reference this person to find out where you're at. There are certain Pokemon that will evolve based on that.
Interesting.
Like, I believe Pichu, to evolve to Pikachu, I think you have to do that.
Okay.
The two new forms of Eevee that are in this generation, Umbreon and Espeon, both of them are tied to that stat. As well as getting the third version of the Zubat line.
Okay. Cool. So. I was looking real hard for a Pichu. Don't know how to get one of those. Or a Pikachu. Like something like that.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that was Mount Mortar. Not a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
At this point though, we reach Mahogany Town after we go through Mount Mortar.
Rich
says,
Mahogany.
Welcome. Yeah, Rich Mahogany.
Going all these
Welcome
trees,
to the
dude.
home. Yeah, seriously. The sign here, it says, welcome to the home of the ninja.
Yes.
That's a cool little opening. But yeah.
What are your
someone here
expectations
talking
for that?
I was thinking the classic form of the ninja that comes to mind.
Okay, well, if you remember, in Gen 1, we had a ninja boss, a ninja gym leader. It was Koga.
All right.
He was the poison type that said, waff, 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 waff. That was his introduction, right?
Yeah, sounds familiar. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't remember that, I guess, when I was playing this. But someone's here talking about this Gyarados raging north at the lake, and I was like, okay, here it is. The long-teased Gyarados.
The Lake of Rage.
So that's exciting. Yeah, Lake of Rage, right? Also, some dude's trying to sell me some Rage candy, and, like, won't I, like, buy one? I was like, fine, dude. And then I try to, like, pass him, and he's like, buy some more. And I was like, no. So, apparently I can't go that way at this point.
Yeah. The way Pokemon treats their, like, NPCs selling things, like, even with the Slowpoke tail guy, it feels like the way it was localized is they wanted you to come across of, like, not a real version of this, but, like, the way they represent people selling drugs in Dare commercials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, just real seedy, like, you want to buy some death sticks?
Yeah, like a characterization of that. Not like how it, I'm assuming, actually works. But, like...
Yeah. You're not familiar with the ins and outs of the death stick industry?
No.
Yeah, and there's also, speaking of that, there's also this, like, strange house here that's playing weird music. Of course, we'll get to this. And they're selling, like, Slowpoke tails. And I'm like, bro, I don't approve of this at all.
Yeah.
I didn't buy one, of course, but I was like, I wonder, like, what would happen if I bought one? Like, do they have practical use in this game?
I don't know. I've never tried buying one. Isn't it still like $1 million?
I don't think it's that expensive. It was only like 10,000 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I could
be wrong.
I thought with the Slowpoke Well arc, it was $1 million for a Slowpoke tail.
Yeah, that was $1 million. Maybe it wasn't a Slowpoke tail. It might have been like some other sort of animal.
Okay.
Or Pokemon, I should say. But yeah, I found that weird. Anyways, I'm heading north at this point because I'm like, finally, it's Gyarados time. I want this thing. Along the way, my muscle evolves to a Machoke. And I was wondering if a named Pokemon, like a pre-named Pokemon that I traded for, evolved, would it retain the name? And it does. It says Muscle evolved into a Machoke, but then in my party, he is still Muscle.
Yes. I don't know if you remember this story from season 1 of My First Mon, but as a dumb kid, I accidentally one time, because originally I didn't like naming my Pokemon until like the last 6 years. As a dumb kid, I was like, oh, I accidentally clicked, let me nickname this person, my Charmander. And I didn't want to back out because I would think that if I left it blank, his nickname would be blank. So I named my Charmander, selected it, and learned the hard way when I evolved it to a Charmeleon and then a Charizard that was named Charmander.
No. Could you change it? Did you, like, keep up with it? Did you change it, like, oh, I guess I gotta go back to the name later?
I think eventually I just started a new save.
Wow, it was that catastrophic.
I mean, man, I used to replay Red all the time as a child.
Yeah.
Like, not even to completion. I would just get halfway through and be like, you know what, let me just get a new party. Because I've only beaten Red, like... Well, now I've beaten it, like, 4 or 5 times, but...
Wow.
Back then, it was just, like, the journey. I loved it.
True. The journey is always better than the destination, as they say. Sometimes. Yeah, I wrote down here, Machoke is ripped, dude. Looking good. And then there's this, like, little section where it's, like, a guard outpost, usually, but Team Rocket's there, and they steal 1,000 Pokebucks from me. And, like, I try to fight them afterwards to be like, that's mine, and it won't let me, so... Yeah. I don't appreciate that. I also make a save here because I'm like, will they do it again? And yes, they will. So I reloaded the save. Yeah. I reach a trainer that talks about Johnny making fun of their Pokemon. That's not cool. That's mean.
Yeah.
But most importantly at this point, Gina calls me back. First date, baby. Just kidding. We fly back to Goldenrod. She hands me the Leaf Stone. Victory Bell, welcome to the party, pal.
That's excellent. Now,
the journey is complete.
Yeah, you're done. You finished it. You beat the game.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not believe you evolved your Weeping Bell to a Victory Bell in Season 1.
I think I did.
Okay.
Because Victory Bell sounds super familiar. I believe I actually did.
Well, James had a Victory Bell in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that might be what you're thinking of. But yes, I was just going to ask, what do you think of Victory Bell as an evolution, as a third stage Pokemon, design-wise? Like, what are your thoughts?
I prefer, I'm actually, as we're speaking, I'm flipping through the same notebook that I'm using to see if I can see Victory Bell. Mm-hmm. But I prefer, usually, the first evolution of Pokemon.
Okay, that's interesting.
And, yeah, that holds true with Bellsprout particularly. I think Bellsprout is my favorite of the line. Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, I don't love Weepin' Bell. Oh, I do have Victory Bell. According to my episode 8 notes, Christian,
okay,
I had a level 27 Victory Bell.
Good to know.
So yes, but yeah, no, I prefer first evolutions usually.
That's interesting. Like,
but I keep up with it because like might as well. But I usually prefer the cute little small versions.
Yeah, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on Cyndaquil's third form.
Yeah, I'm excited because I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah.
I feel like by this point, I'd already had my Blastoise in Season 1.
Yeah, like I have, as of last week's episode, I have my Feraligatr. So my Totodile is at his third form, so.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully that's soon.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, yeah. So I get Victory Bell. Welcome to the party. Then fly back to Lake of Rage. Here's the thing, Christian. We go to the Lake of Rage. We see the red Gyarados. Now that's different. I get very excited as to what happens. I read up about it a little bit later. I think it's supposed to be this way.
Yes,
but
it is.
Shit. So the red Gyarados is supposed to be shiny.
Yes.
All right.
That is the way they introduced the concept of shiny Pokemon. Because when I brought it up to you initially, just on the off chance that you were gonna maybe run into one, and it turns out you did, I wanted you to be aware. Because I think when you asked me, like, am I gonna know? I think I was giving you a similar answer to what you asked about with Gyarados before, of like, you're gonna come across it. Like this thing that I'm teasing is going to be conveyed to you at some point.
Right.
This is it.
Yeah, okay. So, a little more deflated.
Yeah.
Now that I know that.
Walking around hot-headed, being like, I got 2 shiny Pokemon on my team.
Christian, I wish I would have recorded my reaction. Because I'm like, as if Bellsprout, right, wasn't rare enough. I walk across a red Gyarados, and this homie's shiny. But yeah, I guess it's supposed to be that way. That's fine. I got 2 shiny Pokemon. Like, can I really complain? Probably not. Yes, but I'd catch him because why wouldn't I? It's the red Gyarados. Now, is there much of a difference? I noticed Gyarados, who's a flying and water type, I believe, has Dragon's Rage, which is a dragon move, but clearly does fire damage. Yeah. Like, you know, is this Gyarados any different than a regular run-of-the-mill blue Gyarados?
Outside of whatever the role was for its stats, not really. Like, you'll have, like what Angarl said, of, the IVs will be influenced because it's shiny, and when you throw it out, it'll do the sparkle, and the color's different. Yeah. That's really it. What I'll remind you with, though, since Gyarados is a flying type, I believe Gyarados can learn Fly if you want to ditch your Spearow and you think you're going to be flying a lot, and you want to slot.
Here's the thing. I wrote down the question before I found out the answer.
Okay.
I was going to ask you, should I give Fly to Gyarados? Turns out, not able to.
Oh, whoa, okay.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing, like flying, that's, you know, you would assume that the flying Pokemon could learn Fly. Could be wrong. I may have just quickly glanced over my party and didn't see the able message. But yeah, I wasn't able to.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't make sense if you can't. I feel like Gyarados would be a little too OP at that point. Like, if you can learn Surf and Fly, like...
Oh, yeah.
Cool, and pick one. you know.
Yeah, exactly. But I did deposit Spearow for Gyarados because Spearow is obviously just my fly machine at this point. So I'll use Spearow when I need to. But yeah, I go to the gym and I'm not allowed to go in yet, but I run into Lance. I ran into Lance actually after I after I captured the red Gyarados. And Lance is like, hey man, I am investigating this thing back in Mahogany. You should join me. I was like, alright, you seem like a mysterious chap. I guess I'll join you. Turns out, he wants to bust down this drug ring happening in Mahogany Town. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude, I am all for this. We're about to raid this drug machine that Team Rocket has set up here in Mahogany Town. I bust into that seedy little place that was selling tails of some sort, and Lance is already there, like, over the corpse of this one dude, just beating him to death with his Pokemon, and then he's like, dude, there's a secret underground lair here, you're gonna join me. I was like, alright, I'm sold, bro. Let's do it. So Team Rocket's down there, right? And I step in front of this statue, and there's two people that come, and they're like, hey, we'll keep appearing, but you have to flip a secret switch. I never find this. Do you? Do you know where this thing is? I just run through the whole place. Like,
yeah,
at that point.
I did the same thing. I didn't look for it. I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah, it's probably on the ground. If you remember, like, on the left side when you first enter, like, the underground layer.
Yeah.
There's, like, the, like, two-toned path. Might be there somewhere, but I think
it could be a similar sort of switch mechanic to. Do you remember the Lieutenant Surge puzzle with the switches?
Sort of.
It was like all the garbage cans, and you had to like find both of them.
Yeah, I do remember.
Might be like that.
Okay.
Also,
well, clearly not important enough.
What do you think of Lance so far? Do you have any more insight on Lance this episode, or?
I feel like it kind of remains the same for me. Like, I am just all about Lance. Like, okay. I will follow this dude into battle. He's like wearing some sort of getup.
Yeah, he's got a cape, right?
He looks like a vampire. That was like my first impression.
Now,
is there anything to that?
What if I told you, Lance, you have met him before? You specifically, not your character in Pokemon Crystal, but you, Jack Martin, the Pokemon trainer, has met Lance.
Was he in Gen 1?
He was.
Was he wasn't a gym leader, was he?
No, he had even more clout behind him.
Oh, dude, was he one of the Elite Four?
He was. He was the Elite Four member with the dragons, the Dragonite and the multiple Dragonair. Like, it was him.
Yeah, that's why I remember that part was particularly difficult. I remember not liking that.
Dragon type, dude.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense why he was at the Lake of Rage. That's really cool. This elite members coming down and busting some drug busts, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That was the coolest part. That was so cool.
And it's kind of like what we said the other week, where I think it was Jasmine wasn't in her gym. She was just doing it like something for the town. Like Lance, a member of the Elite Four in the Pokemon League in Kanto, traveling around the world busting drug rings. Like,
yeah, it's very much like, again, we keep bringing up My Hero Academia, but I will continue to keep bringing it up. It's like people in that show become a hero to like do a service, and it seems like people will become trainers also like for the glory of becoming a trainer, but also like, you know, corporate social responsibility. You know, you have to like do some work for like the community around you as well. So that's cool. I appreciate that. And dude, Lance is so cool. I keep thinking about him. He's like superhero. Like, by day he's an Elite Four member. By night he's like kicking the teeth in of like Team Rocket members. I'm all about it. Yeah, I'm just fanboying over here about Lance. Huge fan. Do we see him in any later iterations?
Of what?
Pokemon?
In like the remakes, yes.
So we get like a better picture of him, of like what he would look like in like a semi 3D form. Okay. Cool. Yeah, but yeah, we continue through this maze of a drug ring. I'll keep bringing up drug ring because I'm just filling in the blanks in my canon.
Yes.
If you're a season 1 veteran, you'll know that I tend to do that. But yeah, we run into Johnny. Johnny's like, dude, Lance beat me, and Johnny's upset that Lance told him he didn't love his Pokemon, and I'm like, wow, this is the first time that like Johnny's like really upset about losing, and like for a particular reason. He's like angry with himself.
Pride.
Yeah, dude.
Much like Bakugo, once again. Prideful.
For real. We really keep getting Bakugo vibes from Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm excited to find out, like, I think the twist is with Johnny.
Okay.
Still haven't gotten there yet. I would love... Oh, dude, I would love for this. Here we go. Wheels are spinning. I would love for this to be Red, because Johnny, a.k.a. Red, a.k.a. Jack, would have encountered Lance before and beaten him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a meeting of the minds. This is an Obi-Wan, Darth Vader from A New Hope situation, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe Red, in his time as champion, got cocky. Stopped like loving his Pokemon, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know? That'd be cool.
I'm very excited for you to figure out the deal with the twist, spoiler, the Johnny stuff. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, will this happen, like, in the next episode or two?
I think so. You'll know before the Elite Four.
That's what I was wondering. Is pre or post Elite Four? Okay, cool.
You will know about Johnny and his deal before the Elite Four.
Nice. All right. Anyways, some Team Rocket member is talking about Giovanni coming back again, like Star Wars, like Palpatine.
The hell?
Right.
Yeah. How many times we got to teach you this lesson? I thought.
For real.
I thought battling Jack, he renounced his ways. He realized that Red showed him that there's more to love in life than money.
Yeah. Well, clearly he was lying. But Lance and I, this is a cool little thing. We fight 2 separate trainers together. Of course, it's like the same battle system. We're not like it's not like a party system, in like JRPG party system mechanics. But it's cool to see like the sprites side by side, like fighting them. And by the end of this, I was like, dude, Lance and I are going to bat together. Apparently, I'm fighting with one of the Elite Four members from Kanto. Very cool. Yeah. So we defeated the drug ring that Team Rocket set up here.
Yes.
Will no longer operate. But what we really, like, in the canon, of course, what we really were here to do is, like, disrupt this broadcast that they were doing there. I don't know, like, it was, like, a menacing sort of broadcast. I'm not sure, like, the reasoning.
Think of a dog whistle. It was a broadcast that was at a frequency that only Pokemon could hear, so it was making them enraged.
I see.
That's why, conveniently, at the Lake of Rage. Maybe that's what they did. Maybe they saw this place called the Lake of Rage. They're like, you know what would be fun? If we just made all these Pokemon outraged.
Yeah.
That'll teach people to name things. Like, was that their plan?
Very fitting.
Yeah.
I guess so. We'll teach you a lesson on grammar.
On naming public
naming
places.
things.
Yeah.
Anyways, down here, so weirdly and maniacally enough, this whole place is operated by electrodes. So Lance and I have to defeat 3 each, and I catch one in the process because I'm severely lacking an electric type. Although
Nice.
I was looking at the types. I'm gonna pull it up here for myself. I don't think I necessarily need an electric type. Truth be told.
Yeah, it can't hurt, but I feel like you're covering, I think the electric type would be where your Graveler is, okay? Like,
Yeah.
it's a type that doesn't necessarily cover a lot of things, but it's like the one that you have an attachment to,
Yeah.
Because typically I never go with ground or rock. but I will have an electric type. So like I feel like you can swap those out there. And same thing with like poison. Like I think those levels, it's a matter of preference.
For me, ground and rock have been incredibly useful. I've had them both in my party for two gens at this point. But yeah, I was looking it up. I was like, oh man, I need something against water. And I was like, I already have my Weeping Bell, at this point Victory Bell, which is, trust me, done some work.
Yeah.
So yeah, electric type at this point, it's good against water, it's good against fly, and I think that's it according to this chart. So like I really don't need an electric type. I haven't used Electrode at this point at the time of this recording, so yeah. But yeah, after that, Lance gives me Whirlpool, so maybe I'll explore the Whirl Islands at some point.
Yeah, dude.
Christian,
what's up?
In another segment of
Ooh.
Name that Pokemon.
Okay.
Name that Pokemon? Is that what we're going for?
Who's that
Pokemon? Okay. Sorry. I wasn't that into the anime. I actually only watched it very recently. Okay. I have 2 Pokemon on here.
Okay.
And I crossed out their names. So you can't see them.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send them over to you now.
All right.
We have to have a discussion about one of them.
Okay. Okay.
Because it clearly looks like something.
I'm excited. I'm very curious who this is gonna be.
Yeah. Let me know when you get it, and tell me the first one first.
Okay. The one on the left is Swino.
Yeah.
Swinub is fantastic. I am a fan of Swinub. The one on the right is Cloister.
What the fuck does this thing look like, Christian?
There's an easy answer, and then the other answer is a seashell encased oyster.
Sure. They had some fun with this one, let's say.
Yeah.
And I looked it up too. I was like, Cloister looks like and then
yep.
Yeah, the first result, of course, you can imagine.
Yes, that is a joke amongst most people who can understand what human anatomy is and play Pokemon. I think a lot of people will recognize that.
Immediately I saw that and I was like, oh my god, dude. That's quite detailed. Like,
yeah.
if you took the face and eyes off this thing,
it's a diagram.
That would, yeah, it's quite anatomically correct.
So here's what's interesting. Cloister is from Gen 1. You just never found it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
yeah.
I think
maybe I did.
I think Cloister might have been in Elite Four. Agatha, right? Agatha was in an Elite Four member in Gen 1, I think.
Possibly.
I think Agatha was Ice type because she had a Lapras. And
oh, I got it right here, dude. Agatha, Gengar.
Oh, Agatha was
Golbat,
Ghost. Sorry, I'm thinking of. Oh, who's the other one?
Oh, yes, Lorelei.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, Lorelei had one.
Dugong, Cloister, yep, you're right. Slowbro, Jinx, Lapras. Oh, I also see another Jinx again. Of course, we had that discussion about Jinx in Gen 1. Doesn't hold up.
I haven't run across a Jinx yet in this, but now that we're dealing with color, is Jinx purple yet?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I just instantly saw it and I was like, yikes.
Yeah.
So that was my takeaway. But yeah, Cloister, man. Shout out to Cloister. Shout out to the devs who knew exactly what they were doing with that.
Yeah.
Because that's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely.
Drawing that was fun.
I bet.
Anyways, it was actually pretty difficult. It's quite intricate. Anyways, we get to the Mahogany Town gym leader. Who's Price? Captain Price.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, now that I say that, like, as the joke to Modern Warfare, I'm getting some Captain Price vibes. From
Why?
Price.
Explain.
Old, 50, that's it. No, but, experienced and, like, is pretty gruff and, like, has that sort of demeanor about him that's similar to Captain Price.
Lieutenant Surge, even.
I was going to say, this dude was like, yeah, I've been fighting Pokemon, or training ice Pokemon for 50 years at this point. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, you definitely fought alongside Lieutenant Surge in the Great Pokemon War.
Yeah, the only difference is that Price just doesn't make a big deal about it. He's like, I did my duty. I did my duty to Johto.
he keeps his medals like in his closet, of course, like for one day, maybe when he wants to pass it on. But Lieutenant Surge, like, he's still wearing them on his chest. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's still in uniform. It's like, bro, the war's over. All right, chill out. Do we get any more explanation about the Great Pokemon War? Because that is fascinating.
Never.
Dude, they can make a whole game about that.
Yeah, that is our headcanon. You know, actually, you saying that reminded me. So there is, on the Nintendo DS, a spin-off game called, I think it's called Pokemon Conquest. And it is similar to a Fire Emblem or like a Final Fantasy Tactics, or maybe not XCOM, but like it's a turn-based strategy game where you have a grid and you're issuing commands to Pokemon. But Jack, it takes place in like a medieval or like sword and sorcery, like ancient history type environment. So we don't get like Lieutenant Surge War, but we get like Leonidas War kind of.
Okay. Because we have to assume that people were using Pokemon, and they still are, in nefarious ways, right? Surely they were using them to battle to death.
Yeah.
You know?
So, hold on. I might have been wrong about the time period, but it's about unify. There's 17 kingdoms in this region. Legendary Pokemon. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's like the setup is Game of Thronesy. It's like not like that dark, but you know what I mean. Like families, houses, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
cool. But yeah, at this point, I'll give you the layout of the gym. I immediately like walk, and I write down here, oh shit, it's an ice rink. Because I just go flying, dude. But yeah, that's cool. It's like another little puzzle, like some gyms have been. What am I thinking of? This was another mechanic with like the boosters in the first generation. I forget the gym leader.
It was in the Team Rocket hideout, actually, and as well as Giovanni's gym.
Okay, yeah, it was in both, right? I do remember the Team Rocket hideout was annoying.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, Jack, I'm not a fan of these. I'm not a fan of ice puzzles that lock you into a track in any game. I hate it.
That's fair. This one wasn't like super hard though.
Yeah.
So that was fine. But yeah, at this point though, Quilava. So I've been using Quilava and through these trainers because it's ice, and fire has the advantage here. And at this point, I was like, Quilava hasn't learned a lot of moves, especially fire. Like Ember has been okay at this point, but I feel like it's probably old and like it doesn't do as much as a newer move could do.
Yeah.
So at this point, Quilava learns Flame Wheel.
Nice.
And I get rid of Tackle because I have Quick Attack, so I kind of just use Quick Attack more.
That's an excellent choice. Quick Attack goes first, usually, unless there's some weird shenanigans going on. So yeah, good choice. Very good choice.
Cool. So yeah, get rid of that, and now we got Flame Wheel. We get to Price, and Price is going on about being this hardened man. He's seen a lot of shit. He's been training ice Pokemon for 50 years at this point. And I'm like, man, I don't know, 10 in this game. So it seems pretty aggressive.
Let me make you question your life choices. Go,
yeah,
Quilava.
So he sends out a Seal. And I realize here, Flame Wheel against Seal, at least, was not very effective, which I found to be odd.
Yeah, the reason for that would be that Seal is half water.
Oh, that makes sense.
So you have a resistance to fire at that point, like how Angirl at the top of the show was saying that you can like eliminate some weaknesses as well if some are immune in their typing.
Good call.
So Seal would eliminate the weakness to ice that fire does, I believe, in that scenario.
Yeah, and I guess that's how that came to be. And so instead, I'm just using Quick Attack, and Quick Attack comes in for the win.
Nice.
No real difficulty. Then Dugong pops up. Using Quick Attack, using Flame Wheel. Ember seems to be the one that works more, though.
Yeah, so from memory, I don't know. I can fact check this, but I think Dugong might be pure ice. I think. I don't know if they lose types as they move on ever, but I think they might just gain them. I can check.
Because Dugong is the next evolution of Seal.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, possibly. But yeah, again, Quick Attack comes in and finishes the job here.
Water ice. So.
Oh, all right, yeah. Then we have Piloswine. Is that correct?
Yes. Piloswine, Piloswine, maybe.
Sure. It's one of those things
Pilosnow.
like when you're like super young, and it's like, how do you pronounce this? And then for your whole life, you just pronounce it wrong.
Yeah.
I still do that. But of course, the internet makes things easier, doesn't it?
It does.
Blizzard comes in, and it does some damage here.
Yeah.
I lose half my health. And
So-
I'm like, wow.
What do you think of Piloswine compared to Swinub?
Oh, okay. So I don't have it up in front of me. I'm gonna look it up, but I remember it being like a fur ball sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like if a warthog never got a haircut.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's adorable.
Yeah.
It's confirmed. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I really like that line a lot, especially since Gen 4. Gen 4 really made me like Swinub and its line because it gave it a third evolution. So.
Oh, wait. Okay. So we have Swinub.
Mm-hmm.
We have Piloswine. I'll just say Piloswine. Piloswine.
Sure, yeah.
And then we have Mamoswine.
Yeah, Mamoswine, dude. Love Mamoswine.
I feel like I prefer Piloswine.
Okay, I get it.
I'm getting some serious Appa vibes from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Sure.
So, of course, that's where I gotta go.
Just for a fun little aside, I had a Mamoswine for the first 5 gyms of Shield. Named it Snuffy after the Snuffleupagus.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you.
But yeah, Blizzard coming in wrecking shop. Half my health. So I'm like, alright, let's do some flame attacks here. I use Flame Wheel, which does 3/4 health damage, which is pretty good, I must say. But in classic trainer and gym leader fashion, Price uses a Hyper Potion.
Yeah, you truly hate it.
Big F. I don't like that. Look, I know I can do that, but game, you shouldn't be able to do that. That's
Like,
what
I think... I know we're in the later gyms, but I think that should be reserved for the Elite Four, personally.
Yeah, I agree. But I just come... Excuse me. I come in again with Quick Attack and Ember, and that seals the deal. And we defeat Price.
Nice.
Pretty
what
much.
badge did you get?
We got the Glacier Badge, which
Nice.
of course makes sense. Not a lot of difficulty with this one, of course, because we have the fire advantage.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected you to have difficulty here. Because, yeah, fire clearly melts ice, so...
Yeah.
I'm glad this week brought your Quilava back into the fold, because I do think you should probably go into the Elite Four with it evolved.
Mm-hmm. I think I will, now that I know that. And I've been missing my Quilava, you know?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to overshadow the rest of my party.
Sure, I get that. I think off the top of my head, would you like a number for what, like, the range of when Quilava will evolve?
Yep, that'd be good.
So I want to say, just based on the typical spread for starters, between levels 32 to 36 it will evolve. I don't know which one specifically. I can check that if you want a specific, but it is in that range.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. Now, in this playthrough, I've been like trying to level everyone up to 30, and everyone is either there or like a level off, except for Wooper. I've had actually some difficulty leveling Wooper recently. His defense stat is not the best.
Okay.
And yeah, anytime he gets hit, it's actually like significant amount of damage. But I've been like throwing him in and then throwing him back out.
It's interesting you say that because you're choosing not to evolve Wooper, which is fine. I did the same thing with Grookey, which I mentioned earlier, and Grookey eventually was outpaced, right? Like his defense stat could only grow so much over so much time, to the point where at the end of the game I was like, you know what, maybe I should have just evolved Grookey, but I don't know if evolving Wooper to Quagsire would fix that. I don't know for sure. There are items you can get to boost defense stats, but they're very expensive.
I think I have something that I gave to Booper.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it was defense or not.
So there's X Defend, which
yeah,
I never use, but then there is something that will alter your base stat. So it's like a consumable. So if you give it to a Pokemon, it will raise that specific stat.
He's holding something.
Okay, so that's probably an X Defend. Yeah, I think
it is, yeah.
I forget which one I'm talking about, but there's stuff like protein, carbos, iron. It might be iron. I think iron might raise your... It's like a pill. You just give it to them, and then
yeah,
their defense will go up. But again, very, very expensive to get those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that'll do it. Do you want to give... Shall we give a art submission suggestion for what we should be drawing for next week?
Yeah.
Well, let's say this week. This week was Shiny Bellsprout.
Yes, so the end of this episode will have the Shiny Bellsprout art from you and me, and anyone who wants to who submit it by the time this episode's already out.
Yeah.
So, again, myfirstmon@gmail.com if you want to submit art about anything we talked about in the episode, or if you want to make it in theme with the topic, like we'll probably do. What do you think? Lance comes to mind.
Ooh, Lance is good. Gyarados, the red Gyarados.
Mm-hmm.
Cloister. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't go the Cloister route because that'd be too much. Yeah, I would say either Lance or Gyarados, maybe a combination of the two.
Sure. Yeah, why don't we say something in that ballpark? You know, they're both dragon related, so.
Yeah, go either one, go both. Doesn't have to be. Again, this is just a suggestion. You could write or draw anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might go Gyarados because it will be easier to draw.
Sure.
Also, it's red. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. It is. Red is a cool color.
Mm-hmm. That's your... No, your favorite color is green, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is green. I have a lot of red tech. I kind of just stumbled into that. I don't know why. I got a red Kindle. I got a red 3DS. I got a red PS4 controller, red Switch.
Yeah. I'm replaying this in my head because I feel like I remember this from content, and it was probably on MyFirstMon. Is it because of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber?
The green? I think the green is because of Star Wars. I think that is it. I don't know why specifically. Maybe it's just the poster for Return of the Jedi, like the VHS poster.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of green on that. I don't know. But yeah, I do think the reason I like green is probably from some impressionable age about Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm boring. I like blue. It's probably because of Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, my favorite like color is the like original like sort of whitish version of the A New Hope's lightsaber.
Would it be cyan?
Yeah, dude, I love that. Remember in Jedi Fallen Order where you can choose that color?
Mm-hmm.
I chose it and never changed it because that was it.
Yeah, I did yellow for Cal Kestis, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. Well, there's your color cast for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll do it for MyFirstMon. Christian, where can the people find you?
Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Chris N. Buckley on Twitter, as well as here, youtube.com/joyclicks with Jack, Kevin, Mike, the whole gang. Lots of content coming up. Lots of stuff every week. Be sure to sub if you're new. And again, big shout out. Thank you to everybody who's been watching the show and enjoying it, because we saw the response to season 1 and took some time, but we're glad that people are liking season 2 a lot.
Definitely. We do appreciate your support and all the comments we get. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at FascinatedJack. Christian and I have been doing the #1 Marvel's Avengers podcast, all about the Avengers game out on PS4, Xbox One, PC, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So it's been fun. We've been enjoying it. New episodes each week. It'll be a good time. We've been playing it a ton. We have soft plans to platinum the game potentially together at some point.
Yeah.
So stick with us on that one.
And again,
But yeah.
post on Saturdays. So.
There
There you go.
But yeah. Until next time, we'll catch you later.